Hi everyone, today I'm doing the If I Could Only Keep One tag created by Kelly Gooch. I was tagged by Bettina, the makeup enthusiast, as well as Angelica Nyqvist to do this tag. Otherwise, I totally would have not done it because I was avoiding it like the plague. I feel like this is a pretty hard one to do because I like having lots of options, and the idea of only having one for the rest of my life kind of freaks me out. Luckily, we don't live in that kind of world, but if we did live in that kind of world, I will tell you what I will be keeping. The first product is primer. Now, I don't use primer. Skincare is my primer because if I have a nice space for the makeup to sit on, then it will last longer. For me, primers are not essential. The second category is foundation, and I've decided to include my Kogan Do Aqua Foundation. And the reason why I've chosen these are because they are very hydrating. They have a really nice finish on the skin. I prefer kind of natural to dewy finish, and this is sheer to medium, so depending on how much coverage my skin needs, I feel like it can work in a lot of situations. It has jojoba oil, shea butter, and I think it's got olive squalene in it. So again, this really helps my really kind of dry skin not look so dry. I just love how it looks on my skin. On top of that, I don't think this has an SPF either, so I feel like this could work for flash photography if you wanted to, as well as just going out for everyday wear. On top of that, I feel like as my skin ages, this would still look good on my skin. It doesn't kind of sink into fine lines, it doesn't emphasize texture, and it has a really beautiful luminous finish. Then we've got concealer, and this was a hard one because I mainly use two different types of concealers. One for my under eye, and then one that's a more heavy duty for spots like these pimples that are popping up all over my face. And if I could only choose one, I would probably choose something for my under eye area because that's where I look really tired and can really tell if I haven't had a good sleep. Whilst the kind of dots, I can get away with putting a little bit of concealer, even if it's not super heavy duty, just to help, you know, remove some of the redness. But obviously it's not gonna cover it completely, so that's kind of a compromise. I haven't found a concealer that does both, that works well for the under eyes as well as spot concealing. So I'm choosing this Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. The coverage on this is, I would say, a medium coverage, but the nice thing about this one is it does go over texture really nicely, which is why I feel like it works well on the under eye area. Spot concealing, it's not the best, not the worst. I mean, the foundation helped a little bit to give it some coverage, but again, compromised a little. But I'm thinking strategically, so even if I have to use one concealer for the rest of my life, I feel like under eye area, darkness and all that is something that I will continue to have throughout my entire life, or else pimples. Hopefully they come and go, and as I get older, I'll have less acne. I'm going a little bit out of order because I'm going in order of how I put my makeup on, and the next thing I would do is put on blush, and I've chosen my KW blush in Desire Glow. I don't have that one because that I've run out of. That was my Project Pan. I would totally repurchase that one once I use up more of my blushes, but let's just pretend I have the KW one. I chose that one because that one is a cream texture. For me and my dry skin, creams just look so much nicer on my skin. They make my skin look healthy, and it's a nice shade. On top of that, it's really easy to use with fingers, sheer it out, and it looks really natural without having to go in over and over again. It's just a no fuss kind of product, which I like. For bronzer, I've also chosen a cream bronzer for the same reasons. It looks better on my skin, and I really like this one from 3. It's their Shimmering Duo in 02, and I've almost run out. This one looks really nice on skin, really natural, doesn't leave harsh lines, easy to blend it out, but it still gives you that nice bronzed glow, and it's beautiful. I have really enjoyed cream products lately. I don't know why I kind of stopped for a while, because I feel like I saw a lot of people using powders, but I realized on my skin, creams just look way better on me. And I feel like, again, as I age and as my skin gets maybe more textured, these products would still withstand the test of time. Now for powder, I had to think about what powder works well to set what looks nice over textured skin, under the eyes, and I decided to include this Rouge Bunny Rouge Diaphanous powder. I really like it. I feel like this powder gives the skin a pretty blurred effect. Now, I don't use powder all over my face because, again, I like my skin to shine through and kind of look like skin. I mostly put them around my T-zone, under my eye area, on my forehead now that I have a fringe. I also really like this powder because it doesn't look too heavy on the skin. I want something that sets my skin but doesn't make it look like I've got anything on my skin, and I think this works really nicely. I would definitely repurchase this one. Now for highlighters, highlighters. I haven't actually mentioned this product very much on my channel because it's kind of a new one, but I have really enjoyed this. This one was kind of hard, but I've decided to choose this one because I've got a palette and it's got 3 different shades, so I feel like this would give me more options depending on what kind of eye look I do: cool, warm, neutral. This is the Ambient Metallic Strobe Lighting Palette from Hourglass. It's got a pink highlighter, a golden one, and more of a kind of neutral beigey one. The texture of this one is really nicely and finely milled, and it doesn't look terrible on the skin. It doesn't emphasize my pores or anything like that. So really enjoy this. Was thinking about getting back up, but I don't think I should because I've got too many highlighters. I don't know if that's cheating to choose a palette, but it's my answer. So the next one is eyeshadow. And can you guess which eyeshadow I'm using? This one was a really hard one. I feel like for every single video that I've seen in this tag, eyeshadow has been the hardest one to choose. I've seen a lot of people choose the Mi Vida Loca palette, and I think that would be an awesome one if I had it, but I don't. At first I thought the palette that I use so often, most frequently, is the Viseart Warm Neutrals palette. I like it because they've got shades that suit my complexion, but then I thought, I would really miss shimmers. Would I really want an all matte eye look for the rest of my life? Like, that is a big commitment. It's a little bit monochromatic for me. I still feel like I need a bit more pop of color. And on top of that, again, I don't think I could just do an all matte look for the rest of my life. So then I thought, okay, what other palette has shimmers, some pops of color, and some mattes? And then I thought the Anastasia Beverly Hills Master Palette by Mario. It's, again, a really easy palette for me to use because I literally can put 2 or 3 shades in there and I'm done. However, I feel like it's, again, still too muted. And what if I wanted to do some statement looks? What if I wanted like more intense pops of color? And then I've decided finally on this one by Pat McGrath Labs. This is my favorite palette, I've decided, of all the Mothership palettes. It is the Sublime palette. The Sublime palette. I said that really weird. I finally decided on this one after toing and froing for ages. I've got some really nice mattes. I would say this is one of my favorite matte blacks in here. It's really nice, easy to blend, and as you blend it out, it doesn't turn into a gray, which is what I like. And it's got this other matte brown, and it's got some really beautiful pops of color. This is probably one of my favorite colors of all time. This is VR Nectar, and it's what I'm wearing on my eyelid because it's beautiful. Basically, I used this kind of satin red shade, this taupey shade here, the black, and the kind of pink for the inner corner highlight. I feel like this can take me from day to night. I can do a more neutral look. I can do a more statement look, add some shimmer, add some mattes, some satins as well. I mean, I feel like I'm not gonna be able to do all the looks I ever wanted in my entire life, but if I had to choose one, this one I feel like is very versatile because of that. It's got pops of color, mattes, different textures. It's got 3 different types of textures in here. I've just loved all the looks I've created with this palette. I think some of my favorite looks have been created with this palette, so that's why I've chosen it. Really hard one. And then lastly, for my lips, it's probably no surprise, I talk about this lipstick all the time. This is the Suqqu Extra Glow Lipstick in 11. It's got apparently 7 nourishing oils in here, and it goes with every eye look that I do. It doesn't emphasize my lip lines, and it's very moisturizing, hydrating, and I love it. Would repurchase this again and again and again. And if I had a never-ending bullet lipstick of this, I would not be mad. So those were all my picks. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. Did I make some good decisions? Did I not? Let me know if you've also done this tag. I feel like most people have done this already, but I will still leave a few people down below. But if I don't mention you, please still do it because I still find it interesting, because this is like a very extreme scenario where you can only pick one. So it is quite entertaining to watch what people would choose. Anyway, if you want to see more of my face and more videos with me in it, talking about makeup, doing makeup, then please subscribe, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.